Welcome to Introduction to Project Template Types. In this click-through demo, we will learn the purpose of project templates and example use cases for each type. To begin, why should you have project templates? Project templates allow your organization to standardize the procedures, documentation, and approvals for similar projects. What types of projects can you have? daitaGRC supports two main types of projects: controls monitoring and assessments. Controls monitoring projects provide structure and accountability in monitoring the ongoing performance of controls over a period of time and expedite potential assessment requests by creating a centralized repository of control performance evidence. daitaGRC supports a wide range of assessment projects, which we will explore shortly. The purpose of assessments is to document work performed to support a conclusion over how the controls of an organization are implemented and/or designed. Let's walk through creating a project template to support consistency and efficiency in your organization's activities. To create a project template, start by clicking on Projects on the left-hand side of your screen. This opens the drop-down menu to access the Projects and Project Templates modules. Click on Project Templates to open the module. The Project Templates module shows a table of all project templates with counts of open and closed projects they're used in, and a button at the top right to create a new project template. Let's walk through how to create a project and the decision points required along the way. To start, click the Create Project Template button on the top right. Now fill out the name and choose if you are using a template starter as a base for your new template. You would use a template starter if you already have a template similar to your planned new template. For this example, let's assume you want a fresh start and will configure everything from a blank slate. After entering a name, leave the template starter as None and click Next. Now you need to select a project template type. As mentioned before, the two types are controls monitoring and assessment. When should you choose each? Choose control monitoring if you want support documenting the performance of a suite of controls. Some examples could include monthly close checklists, such as bank reconciliations, recurring accrual journal entry posting, etc. SOX controls performance, such as CFO sign-off of the financials, AR aging review, user access reviews, etc. Framework compliance, such as NIST or HIPAA, or any other controls monitoring. Control monitoring projects automatically generate work papers for each control you select to monitor based on the control's monitoring frequency field to track and document the ongoing performance of controls. In order for a control to be available for monitoring, it must already be created in the Risk and Control Matrix, RCM, with the monitoring frequency field filled in. Choose Assessment if you need a project template to collect and document evidence to support an opinion or report. We will detail the assessment project types shortly. As setting up a controls monitoring project is less complex, let's start with it. Leave the controls monitoring type selected and click Next. This interface is designed for customizing an assessment-style project and is not editable in a controls monitoring project. Click Create to finish creating your controls monitoring project template. Now you can see the project template we just created listed in Project Templates. We will cover customizing it in detail in another session. What if you want to make an assessment-type project template? Let's click Create Project Template again and see how the process differs. As before, enter your project name. Leave the template starter blank and click Next. Now click Assessment to toggle the project template type and click Next. On this screen, we have several options to customize our project. For testing forms, we can include work paper, objectives, or both. If you select work paper, you will have separate testing lead sheets for each control or framework element. For example, you could select a work paper for each control within your control database, or you could select specific elements from a preloaded framework. Work paper level can be either control or framework requirement. It defines how the work papers in the project will be created. If work paper level is control, you will create a separate lead sheet for each control you select to test. If work paper level is toggled to framework requirement, then you will create a separate lead sheet for each framework element selected. If you select Objectives-Based Template, this will configure your template for operational style audits or assessments. You will have the ability to manually create objective groups and work steps or import groups and work steps from an Excel template. Objectives could be project goals, phases, or assessment sections as defined in your project. Your objectives are then supported by test steps and workflow approvals defined for each section. Mapping to work paper level is an optional attribute you can use to link and track controls and frameworks across your entire governance, risk, and compliance universe. It creates opportunities for advanced reporting, but does not impact the project functionality. Let's examine each option in turn. First, select Objectives Only, no work paper. This configuration is ideal for operational audits, such as reviewing payroll processes or vendor onboarding, with custom objectives not tied to existing controls. Next, select Work Paper Only, without objectives, with work paper level of Control. Uncheck Objectives. Check Work Paper. This configuration is designed for SOX engagements where you need to test a specific listing of controls. You may want to split up your annual SOX compliance effort into multiple projects. For example, you can create a separate project template for ITGCs, ITACs, SOC reports, or financial controls to enable reporting over different responsible parties and customization of specific sections included in your lead sheets. Next, select Work Paper Only, without objectives, with work paper level of framework requirements. Open the Work Paper Level dropdown. Click Framework Requirement. This configuration is designed for framework compliance engagements, such as NIST or PCI, where you need to test for compliance against a selection of framework elements. Next, select Work Paper and Objectives with work paper level of control. Check Objectives. Open the Work Paper Level dropdown and select Control. This configuration is designed for operational audits where you want to perform custom test steps, alongside testing specific controls from your risk and controls database. Finally, select Work Paper and Objectives with work paper level of framework requirements. Open the Work Paper Level dropdown and select Framework Requirement. This configuration is designed for framework compliance engagements where you want to perform custom test steps, alongside testing specific framework elements. Thank you for completing the Introduction to Project Templates demo. There are standalone demos for each project type if you would like to review a specific type in detail. Once you create the project template, depending on the type you selected, you will need to proceed to the next demo series to customize the template configurations to your needs.